Welcome back to Trading the Market. In today's video, we'll be taking a deep dive into the popular over-under 1.5 goals market on Betfair. Whether you're an experienced trader or new to football trading, I think you will love it. This strategy is all about finding value, timing your entry perfectly and maximising your risk to reward ratio. We'll also break down some back-tested results from Sports IQ and explore different scenarios for laying at varying odds levels. So let's get cracking. The over-under 1.5 goals market is one of the most popular and dynamic markets within football trading. Traders and bettors alike on a weekly basis are either trading these markets or placing over 1.5 goals accumulators with a bookmaker in the hope of winning big. So how can we flip this to our advantage in a new way? The idea behind this strategy I'm about to share is so simple. We are going to lay the under 1.5 goals market in play at odds of around 3.0. When we lay the under 1.5 goals market, we are effectively betting that the match will have 2 or more goals by full time. In essence, laying the under 1.5 goals market is saying, I believe there will be at least 2 goals in this match. To break it down further, when we lay the under 1.5 goals, we are betting against a game finishing with less than 2 goals. This is the same as backing over 1.5 goals with a bookmaker or on the exchange. Our objective is for the match to see at least 2 goals before the final whistle. The key here is patience. Instead of diving into the trade right at kickoff, I want you to wait anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes into the first half. This allows the odds to decay from high levels, often above 5.0 at kickoff, down to our target odds of 3.0. If no goals have been scored by this point, we enter the trade by laying the under 1.5 goals market. By waiting for the odds to drop, we maximise our potential returns while maintaining a favourable 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. To maximise our chances of success, as always, I will be using Sports IQ to aid and filter the best possible matches for this strategy. The filters we use help identify games where at least 2 goals are expected. So the filters are as follows. Games played, GP, set to a minimum of 8 games played. 0.5 goals is set to 100%, ensuring at least 1 goal is scored in the match. 1.5 goals is set to 90% and above, ensuring a high chance of 2 or more goals. And the 2.5 goals is set to 60% and above, and the 3.5 goals is set to 35% and above. So how do we enter the trade? It's all about waiting for the right moment. We look for games where the odds on the under 1.5 goals start above 5.0 at kickoff. Then we wait for the odds to decay, typically around 15 to 20 minutes. Sometimes this can take longer if the odds at kickoff are even higher. When the odds decay and they hit our target odds of 3.0 and 0 goals are scored, we enter the market by laying under 1.5 goals. This 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio means that we're risking £200 to win £100. If a goal is scored before we reach odds of 3.0, we simply walk away from the trade, as our expectation of 2 goals in the match is already at the halfway point and partially met. The strategy is as simple as that. We are essentially betting on 2 goals being scored within 90 minutes of football. The difference here is we are using data to find the best possible selections and then waiting for the right odds, and then we strike. And this gives us a tremendous amount of value. As there are many selections provided each week from the filters, there is no need to go chasing more goals in a game if 1 goal has already been scored already. Simply move on. Now, using these filters, if I scroll down, we now have a set of viable selections to trade on. With the international break in full swing, the list of matches is shorter. But as of this recording, we still have 5 solid matches to consider. Let's focus on the Danish Super League. The first game I can't even pronounce, so I'll just click straight in. The odds to lay on the under 1.5 goals sit at 6.2. The second match is Bromby vs FC Midtjylland, with the odds to lay also at 6.2. And finally, Silkeborg vs FC Copenhagen has odds of 5.6 to lay on the under 1.5 goals. Now, jumping ahead to the results of these matches, all 3 saw a minimum of 2 goals scored. I had planned to trade on these games for this video, but in each case, the first goal came too early for an optimal entry point. Sticking to my rules, I walked away from all 3, showing the importance of discipline within trading. So before we get into crunching some numbers for you, Let me quickly head over to the simulator and show you exactly how this trade works. Bear in mind, none of these matches are selections from the filters. This is just purely to show as an example. In each sim, I will wait to see if no goals are scored in the first portion of the half, and then wait for the odds to drop to 3.0, then I will enter the market. So there you have it, a successful trade will result in £100 minus your commission, and a loss will result in a £200 deficit. There is always the option to trade out of your position if the first goal is early on after your entry into the market, but that's entirely up to you. As you can see, the trade is very simple, as long as you stick to the filters, the criteria and the rules. Now let's talk about the back-tested results from Sports IQ. We tested over 61,854 matches, filtering down to 957 relevant games where we applied this strategy. Out of these, 845 matches were successful, meaning at least 2 goals were scored, and 112 matches failed with 1 or no goal scored. This gives us a success rate of 88.3% and a failure rate of 11.7%, an excellent baseline for this strategy. So let's break down the profit and loss calculations when we wait for odds to decay to 3.0 before entering the trade. With a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio for each successful trade, we make £100, while for each failed trade we lose £200. Here's how it looks for the full sample of 957 back-tested games. So the net profit is £62,100, and with the total liability being £191,400, this gives us an ROI of 32.45%. But here's something important to consider. A vast proportion of these matches may have seen an early goal, meaning that the odds may never have decayed to 3.0, and as a result, you would simply walk away from the trade. In reality, this will happen very often, so the calculations I presented are more of a guide rather than a guaranteed outcome. So let's play a game of what if. What if we only entered 50% of the 957 back-tested games? What would the profit, loss and ROI look like then? Let's assume that out of the 957 back-tested games, only 50% of the matches reach our entry point of odds of 3.0, meaning we only trade on 478 matches instead of the full 957. We'll maintain the same success rate of 88.3% and failure rate of 11.7%. So the total matches would be 478, the successes would be 422 matches, and the failures would give us 56. So 422 successes times £100 gives us 42,200, and 56 failures times £200 gives us 11,200. So our net profit would be 31,000, and the total liability would be 95,600, and this would give us an ROI of 32.42%. Trading just half the game still provides a substantial net profit and ROI. But what if we were to take it a step further? What if we were to encounter the worst of bad luck, and in the 50% of matches we chose to trade on, we happen to face all 112 losses from the backtest? How would that affect our overall profit and ROI? So let's consider this extreme scenario where all 112 losses occur within the 478 matches we trade on, leaving us with 366 successes. So here's how the numbers look. So again, we're trading on 50% of the matches, which is 478 matches. We have 112 failures and 366 successes. So the profit from successful trades would be 366 matches times £100, which gives us 36,600. And the losses from failed trades will be 112 times 200, which is 22,400, leaving us with a net profit of £14,200. And out of our total liability once again, which is 95,600, this gives us an ROI of 14.85%. So even in a scenario where we only trade on 50% of the available matches, the numbers remain tremendously strong, generating a net profit of 31,000 and an ROI of 32.42%. But even in the worst case scenario, where we encounter all 112 losses within that 50%, we still come out ahead with a net profit of 14,200 and an ROI of 14.85%. This shows that even with the worst of luck, this strategy is resilient and continues to deliver positive results. But what if you want to enter the trade right at kickoff instead of waiting for the odds to decay to 3.0? Let's explore the results of laying at different odds, 6.0, 5.0 and 4.0, to see how that affects the probability and the risk. So laying at 6.0, the profit from successes was 84,500, the losses gave us 56,000 and the net profit was £28,500. The total liability across all the trades was £478,500, and this gives us an ROI of 5.96%. And then when laying at odds of 5.0, the profit from the successes was 84,500, and the losses from the failures was 44,800, and this gave us a net profit of 39,700. The total liability was £382,800, and our ROI was 10.37%. So when laying at odds of 4.0, the profit remains the same, the losses from the failures is reduced to £33,600, and the net profit is £50,900. The total liability is £287,100, and again this gives us an ROI of 17.73%. So as we can see, the lower the starting odds, the higher the return on investment. However, as we drop the odds, we also reduce our liability per failed trade, making the strategy even more efficient overall. Ultimately, finding value in trading is all about timing your entry and managing risk effectively. By waiting for the odds to decay to 3.0, we find a sweet spot that maximises the risk to reward ratio while reducing unnecessary exposure. The backtested results show that this strategy is not only profitable but sustainable over the long term. So remember, patience is key when trading on the over/under 1.5 goals market. Stick to your filters, wait for the odds to come to you, and avoid chasing early goals. As always, I will leave the import code for the filters to add to your own Sports IQ accounts in the video description, and you will find I have named this strategy the Goal Digger. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe, and if you would like to see even more brand new football strategies, please leave the comment Beckham's told you in the comment section. Another Ted Lasso reference. If you know, you know. Now all that's left to say is, I've been James, this has been the Goal Digger strategy, and we are all trading the market. Until next time, happy trading.